Hi, Internet! Welcome back to the stream. We are a little bit earlier than usual because we have another Champion Draft Series game. This draft series is seriously just like shoving my schedule back to a more reasonable time of the day for literally everyone else in the other time zones. So that's great. But also, we're going to be starting the stream around 6 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock today. And we are now going up against Tempo, who is probably going to be a pretty formidable opponent. If previous deck codes have been anything to go by from previous matches in the CDS series, I today am bringing so a couple of things that we've already sort of hammered out in the series so far. I plan on bringing Malnivia because it's Malnivia, and despite my misplays, which I hopefully learned my lesson from, it should be good times, I think. I'm also going to bring the Zoe Victor deck again. There is a mix-up with the codes and also potentially with the deck that I played last week, so this one definitely has 3 Zoes in it. I might have fucked that up. And then we've got also a deck that I think is gonna do questionably, but that I did want to try out because I thought it would be funny, which is the Teemo Soul deck that I was been playing around with for the past couple of streams. There's some weird shit in there, and the payoff is going to be the chance of payoff is significantly higher than me actually being able to pull it off, but I'm excited to see what it can do. We are on a 1-minute delay for now. We'll be removing that after the match is over. But let's go jump in a few minutes. Starts in about 6, and then I will be disappearing from the chat at least. It's been some time. It has been a little bit of time. How's it going? Shout out to Weon for doing the for video editing for me. Weon is amazing. Yeah, so that's my plan. Ooh, Tempo's lineups have been pretty aggressive and painful looking. I don't know if I can assuming it's the matchups that I have seen previously, which are Azarelia, MF Swain, and I think it's LeBlanc Ashe. I'm in for a world of pain. Those are gonna be difficult decks for my decks to actually be able to deal with. But regardless, we should hopefully get some fun gameplay regardless. So I'm still looking forward to it by a lot, and maybe one day I'll be able to cast a soul and not just top deck 3 souls, which did happen in the last week or two. So I'm like slightly afraid of my own RNG. Like, I'm afraid of the matchup, but I'm also afraid that my own RNG is just going to kill me, because 3 of in soul is not as good as 3 of in other things. So we'll see how it shakes down. My edit to this over the original Shroom Shot version that I was working with was literally just to add more portals rather than puff cap cards for survivability, because that I thought would let me live until I got to the point where I can actually cast the big invokes and the big souls if I just shit out little things occasionally to block. This is probably a janky strategy, as janky as the deck concept in and of itself, but I'm looking forward to it, so it should be good, I think, hopefully. Regardless, I'm gonna have fun, so that's what counts. Let's see. Deck codes have been posted, so let's actually open those up here. I'm going to be disappearing quite shortly, and becoming non-responsive to the chat. How dare I? Yep, that's MF Swain. Okay, we're up against MF Swain. And then we're up against... that's the Azarelia. I think, honestly, it's just gonna be a fucking knee-jerk Azarelia ban. Well, then I'm just gonna throw that. Yeah, it's LeBlanc Ashe with, not actually any, Yetis or anything, just a lot of good, a lot of buffs and a lot of things. And 2 Reckonings. 2 Reckonings is not going to be amazing. But that's what I have 1 Ruination for. I was debating putting in more removal in the 1 Shadow Isles decks that I'm dragging along with me. But we shall see. It's only a few minutes left here. Only a few minutes left here. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'll get to play some Targon at least. My expectation is that the Anivia or the Victor deck gets banned. Potentially the Anivia deck. because it has the most just removal in general. There are sunbursts and things, and also just the invoke obliterates, but then of course I am paying at least 6 to 10. Actually, yeah, I'm paying at least 6 to 10 mana just to get rid of a unit or two. If there's things that can be meteor showered, but we may not see that card, and we may not even get to that point. So again, we'll see how it goes. Very excited though. 2 minutes to go. I know I'm playing a card game. I know it's a digital card game, but look, I have electrolytes. I was trying to grab a drink before the thing started, and instead of getting water, I grabbed this because I was craving sugar. So now I'm gonna be on a sugar high as well. It's excellent. I don't have my typical caffeine drinks with me. There's also League happening in the background, so if you hear something about an ult, it's not me. I'm dual wielding League of Legends and Legends of Runeterra because my computer is capable of that. I have two separate accounts running. It's perfect. Okay, looks like we are bracing to go in here. For a second I had a moment of like, am I recording? But I'm live, so we're fucking recording. We do have that set and ready to go here. Yes, and I've also figured out that I need to just add in a minute of padding, or just let the delay continue on the stream when I actually turn off the delay. So we'll maybe not fuck that up this week. I have basically clattered my way through the transition on the last week, but it's always just kind of annoying. Okay, looks like we are starting. So let me throw in my CDS choices here. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I believe these are the codes. These all sound like valid concerns. What about getting more ASOLs in the opening hand? That's a good point. I am closing the chat, though, in order to not be influenced by the chat, though there is still the delay going. But welcome in, everybody. If you are newly here, hello. How is it going? I think it's still Azarelia ban. I think it's on Azarelia ban. I'm gonna just have so much trouble versus all of this aggro shit, but I think it's Azarelia. At least that we don't have to look at Azarelia. Nobody wants to look at an Azarelia deck, including me. So we're just gonna get rid of it. We're just gonna knock that shit out. Okay, here we go. Let me bring up my opponent's deck codes. Also my own, in case I fucking forget which random Bandle Targon shit I just like threw in the bundle, because I did put some random shit. The Zoe Victor is unedited, so we do know pretty consistently what's in there. Yeah, I was like, there are 3 Zoes, there are 3 Zoes, there are 3 Teemos, there are 3 Souls, there's 3 of these because I've never changed this deck. Okay, we're fine. Okay, yeah, what is getting banned here? This is the fun part for me, because all of my decks are a little bit weird, so I'm always curious which deck my opponent is gonna be this is gonna be the weirdest thing to play against. Yeah, I think my first pick is probably gonna be the Targon one. Oh yeah, I was fucking right. Mount Nivea got banned. Okay, yeah, let's just do this. Let's just yeet into the Teemo Soul, and go from there and see how it does. I may transition into doing Zoe Victor if this is just a loss off the bat, since I think the Zoe Victor deck is actually stronger in general. But we'll see. This is Swain MF. Okay. The board is loading. The board is having a good time thinking about its life. Do I want to keep Elusive Travelers? I mean, if I can get rid of Leviathan, that's pretty decent. Only 1 mulligan does not seem good for me versus MF shit. There's the turn 1 Teemo, though, because I'm still a god. Yeah! Now it's gonna get killed. Now it's gonna get, like, super fucking killed. What am I actually... Okay, there's Make It Rain, obviously. There's Make It Rain. I'm wondering if it's a full Make It Rain will be spent on the Teemo, but I doubt it. So yeah, that goes through. We have our things that make stuff, so we're gonna cast some of our things that make stuff. Look, it makes stuff to block. That's what it does. There's too many eclectic collections. Holy shit, that hurts. We're gonna go take, I think, a pokey stick to remove something in the future. We are, of course, in a lot of trouble. We are, of course, suffering deeply. Let's do this. I think we want to hurt MF at least. We are just taking damage. There are heals in this deck, technically. There are technically some heals. They're not a lot of them though, and it would be nice if I could just, you know, just go for the Sparklefly off the top. I did ask for the Sparklefly off the top, and by golly, we did find it. Do I care? I mean, okay, what's the thing that I can discard with the Aloof Travelers? Probably Eye, Sprayfin, or Decimate. It might be an Eye. It was a full keep. So it might also be just a Decimate. I'm gonna risk the Sparklefly for an elusive attack into some healing. Make It Rain is very possible, but it's fast speed, so even if I did have other stuff, I mean, it would just kind of die to that anyway. There's a House Lesputi. We're gonna attack with this and see what happens. It does actually resolve. That's very good. Looking at that Noxian Fervor mana, no longer looking at that Noxian Fervor mana, hopefully. I really need like a Withering Wail, and this deck is definitely not the thing that has a Withering Wail inside of it. So that's good and exciting. We're definitely going to be going at least half HP here, I think. We do get a portal, however, and it is a chunky blocker, so we do like to see shit like that. There's a Nagagaboros for the draw, probably just opened attack. I don't think there's any need to wait at 2 mana, not 2 HP. I am going to be at 2 HP soon if everything goes horribly, which it currently kind of is. Let's block this way. We are losing the Sparkle, and there is unfortunately no way for me to actually increase the power of the Sparkle off the bat. We have a nice Aloof Traveler cast. I was unfortunately correct about there being that Nagagaboros in hand. Stun is gonna do us some good. Decimate getting discarded. I'm very glad that bird didn't happen earlier, because an earlier bird would have been just kind of doom and destruction. We are potentially getting a Teemo down, but the aggro is happening. The aggro is happening for sure. We find another Aloof Travelers. I have Sonic Wave because Acoustician is the thing that actually happened, which, that would have been a way to potentially grant the Sparklefly an increase in attack that I was just babbling about. I forget if it was actually, at that point, I had enough mana available to do that. It would have bumped us up to 10, potentially. I forget if I had enough, though. I think we did, considering I had time and mana to cast Aloof Travelers. That might have been a little bit of a fuck-up. But right now we are just kind of holding on. I am about to be no longer holding on. I am about to die. How many units can I shit out here? Honestly, not a great number of them. I think I'm just gonna cast Ava Achiever and then use the Celestial Wonder in the Ava Achiever to manage to pull myself out of this deep, deep hole that I find myself in. No draws, unfortunately. That kind of sucks. No good draws there, unfortunately, which definitely kind of sucks big time. There's one non-combat damage coming in, obviously. We can block some other stuff. We should probably just commit the stun on the bigger targets, actually, and then block the smaller things. Let's not be complete morons here. I mean, being a little bit of a moron is fine, but let's not be total morons here. Obviously, we're going to lose. I'm pretty confident we're just going to straight up lose Ava Achiever. But right now, we are above a Decimate Fervor combo this turn, if only because they also just have 8 mana. It should be a stopgap. It's a dead Ava Achiever, but it's a stopgap for now. There might come a time when I can actually cast Eclectic Collection. It is unfortunate that I top-decked 2 copies of it, though, because that just hurts. That just really hurts, actually. If only you played it on Strike as well as on Summon and all of these other things that were happening. But you don't, so that's kind of tragic. Yep, there's a Flock. Knew it. It is a Swain as well, so there were 2 Swains drawn at some point. Swain is leveling here. Glad that resolved after the attack. I am out of Celestial Wonders. We do have I think there's a Wallop. Did I put Wallop in here? I think there was. I had a Wallop in there at one point. There is no Wallop, but there's a Sunburst, if I could potentially find that. I don't think we're going to, and right now our shroom count is low. To be fair, there is a chance, but the shroom count is low. Does that have anything terrifying like a rat? No, it doesn't have any rallies or anything, which makes sense. There that goes. Okay, Moondreamer is terrible, actually, right now, and I don't think I should probably cast that. Let's go with Aloof Travelers, and then I think we go with Loping Telescope. That is something getting discarded. Zap Sprayfin, toss from hand. So there's no Leviathan, so we're not looking directly at a Swain stun. It's just a lot of other terrifying things that are about to happen. If there's 2 Noxian Fervors, I also can do absolutely nothing about that. I can also do absolutely nothing about that. Moonsilver, Karina Varaza is actually funny in the context of me being able to cast it next turn. We're never getting a Karina cast, but I feel like we should play it just to indicate that we do have it. I could take out the Swain. Not the Swain. I could take out the MF for all that's going to not matter, unfortunately. Yeah, I have no way of forcing the opponent to draw here. So I can take out the MF, but that's about it, which is kind of a waste. Yeah. Ava actually stuck to the board, but it's also because that deck literally doesn't give any kinds of shits about that at all. Yeah, only the Swain has to go here because I don't even have a Fearsome blocker, unfortunately. I mean, Portal Palooza is also gonna do absolutely nothing, so we're just gonna skip that block and move on. I need to not have... I don't know what I need to not have here. I think I just need to not have reasonably meta matchups, but that's also the fault of my drafting. That's my drafting problem. We're up against the Blanc Ash. I am going to switch out for the Zoe Victor. I don't know if it's actually going to do better versus that, to be honest, though. They're both janky, but let's try Zoe Victor. Catastrophe is marginally useless, though, because obviously all that has to happen as the Frostbite comes down, and that just rips us apart. So that's unfortunate. That is a lot of Zoes. I only need... That's more Zoes! Oh my god. Okay, I mean, I'll take it, I guess. We have Back Alley Bar in hand, which is, again, awkward, but not the worst. Open with the Omen Hawk. There's a super cool star chart. Can I stay alive? I forget if there was anything mulliganed, actually. If the hand was good, then I'm very afraid. I am just very afraid. Let's pass there. Let's go with the Pharaoh's Financier. I think we should need to see what we can find. Formula is very good. Celestial Trifecta is very good. I think let's just take Formula, though. That's a pretty decent card. 2 Omen Burbs. Oh my god. Too many Burbs are happening right now. Too many fucking Burbs. This is... Does it have any small pings that I actually need to be worried about for it? It has a Culling Strike. It has 2 Culling Strikes. So double Culling Strike is obviously going to be annoying. It's not here yet, or it's not considered useful enough to be cast right then. We do have a Paddle Star kind of situation on the LeBlanc, so I think, we're just gonna do that in a second. This I don't think is interruptible with their cards. Yeah, this is not interruptible. So we do have a Zoe with Spell Shield now chilling, which is good. There's an Out of the Way, which is late. There's an Ash, which is also just kind of terrible. I'm going to chalk the Landmark because I think right now we're just kind of desperate, honestly. That's Messenger, Moonsilver, and Crescent Strike. We're not getting a chance to cast a Crescent Strike. It'll be useful in the future, but we also still have some more small invokes. Though I think I'm gonna go for the unit here in the draw. We're taking a couple draw cards. I think that's fine. The Frostbite doesn't do anything except annoy us at the moment. So, yeah, Paddle Star. I could have also waited for a Paddle Star to occur, but for now I think we're just gonna do this and take the 2 from the 1/1s. I could reduce it by 1, block with the Zoe, which I guess is potentially interesting. Not really interesting. Um, I'm going down to 18 instead of 17. So exciting. So exciting. We could draw here. I think I'm gonna draw here. We are finding a Pale Cascade. Can't do that yet. Do I rip the out of the way? I honestly think we're just going to be too slow if we do that. There's a time trick. Here's goes the little Zoe again. I don't think I can... I guess I could have attacked with the 2-2 as well. But there's still going to be troll chance and freezes and such. This is still going to be a lot of resources to get rid of. The LeBlanc is almost leveled. The Ashe is about to level. That's a regular whispered words, no reputation proc, Trifarian Glory Seeker. Unfortunately swole, actually. I can take out a champion now, which prevents the LeBlanc level. There isn't a incisive tactician here, so it's not incisive tactician rally. I don't have to worry about that, which is kind of nice. Somebody followed or rated or did something, but I don't have OBS open, so thank you, whoever that was. This will also be late, but I appreciate you throwing that out there. How's the Zoe doing? 5 of 10. I can get her like halfway. I think we're gonna play Victor. I think we're gonna get what? Oh, somebody subscribed. Thank you for the sub. Mod is here also, so I'm also just listening to him. He's giving me the good information. That is, yeah, I think, that was a questionable play. I think I maybe should have tried to get rid of a champion just because there's going to be so many things happening in this turn. We can't trade with the Trifarian Glory Seeker. That also just frostbites. Doesn't ping the spell shield, but is certainly a pain. Let's cast this Zoe. Honestly, considering there is no additional rally, I'm tempted to go with the Ashe over the LeBlanc, though I think it's potentially a LeBlanc stun. Actually, let's stun LeBlanc and then get that Paddle Star, and then hopefully kill an Ashe after everything has resolved. We're not going to trade into that, unfortunately, unless they pull Victor here, which sucks for sure. I just would rather not deal with the LeBlanc damage overall. We have Formula, which gives me 3 back, which means we still have Paddle Star available. I don't have any ping, so that might be the most reasonable option. Ashe is still not leveled, thank God. The 7-3 has to pull something. I'm kind of hoping it's the Zoe here, because I unfortunately cannot force... Is that just lethal on the Ashe once it's committed? Oh, it's just lethal on the Ashe once it's committed. I fucking forgot about that. Because I was counting 1 off of the level, but I wasn't counting the actual, the other proc off of just, it's now a card that exists. So I think we're just fucking dead. Ah, damn it. I need to get rid of a unit here. Yeah, and the Challenger was correctly not committed. I don't think, wait, what do we have in this list potentially? I think absolutely nothing. I think there's absolutely nothing in this list that can pull me out of this. Guiding Touch is a card. Guiding Touch is a card. That's, I think, it, actually. I think my limit here is I actually cannot do anything. But, oh, we have the Pale Cascade to buff something at least. So that's a card that I can use. Let me use it on the doggo here. I just need to be able to put something in the front. So let's put that in front of the 7-3. So now we're living at 6 at least. Okay, that's better. And we don't actually have to lose the fact that I can kill it. One Ashe, one whole Ashe. We need to kill the Ashe. I need to eventually deal with LeBlanc, even though that's basically just not going to happen for a little bit. I think that's just not going to happen for a wee bit. 5 of 7, 9 of 10 on the Zoe. We're actually at the point where the Zoe is going to level, which is kind of nutty. Let's kill Ashe here and also level our champions, which is kind of impressive. I don't know if it's enough to win from here because I don't actually have any invokes to give me something like Golden Sisters to, I think, actually be able to pull myself out of this hole. But it is something for sure. We have Spell Shield on the Victor potentially. We're finding Aloof Travelers. Crystal Arrow is over there. There's the Mirror Image's Hand, 3 cards that I cannot see. Let's see. Right now there's no Frostbites proper except for the Crystal Arrow. Let's try an Aloof Travelers. It might drop that. It's unlikely, but then that's at least hand information. Dropping a Reckoning, which is, I'll take that for sure. And then we have an upgrade for the Victor. We do have Bastion as well for the Victor, if anything should try and happen to that. There's a Crystal Arrow, 3 or less HP and draw 1. That works. We have a couple of upgrades though, so that at least the Victor is not completely out of the game here. I could have Bastioned him, but we're still getting at least a little bit of an upgrade off of this Hex Core, so let's do that. There's the level. Spell Shield or Tough would be great. The Augment's kind of ticking. I mean, Elusive would be the best if we can find it, though. Of course, Freljord's still going to do Freljord things, as it were. That's regeneration, not the most useful. That's a lot of card draw. Right now, the LeBlanc and the 5/3 can unfortunately trade with the Victor, but our opponent's also out of mana, so let's just see what we're doing here. I cannot actually cast that. I cannot actually cast that, which is kind of a bag of ass, unfortunately. Going in here, I mean, we're probably just going to trade with the 5/3, which is the part that sucks the most, I think. Can we find a blocker? We can find a blocker at least, so that's something. Let's Behold a Celestial and make some boys in our deck. Let's cast this 5/2. We do have Overwhelm on a bunch of our things right now. I really think that I might need to use this Victor's Death Ray to get something out of the way. Are we currently surviving if we hold where we are right now? Everything pops back from the Spell Shield. We're healing off the Victor. I have some discounts on my cards. I think we should probably commit a Death Ray though, just to avoid some damage coming through. I think I am inevitably going to unfortunately have to trade with the 7/2. So the 7/2 will pull the Victor to the side, but I don't think that's lethal. Because if it pulls the Victor over there, we've still got 3 blockers, and none of those blockers are big enough to actually just kill me. I wish that 5/3 wasn't there, otherwise the Victor going in here would actually be relatively safe. But I don't think I can. No troll chance, no nothing. I think I still have to wait. Ambush, if it was a turn later, would be okay, but it may not be. Yep, there's the Victor pulling that. We need to avoid these sets of damage, and then is there damage buffs? There's no actual damage buffs. There still is that Culling Strike, though, when the Culling Strike would end me entirely. It would end me, and I wouldn't have a chance to cast a Guiding Touch, really. Right now, though, it looks like we're actually getting an opportunity to heal, which I will absolutely just take. We're healing up to 12, potentially, unless there's a Frostbite. We're getting 2 damage dealt to face. Let's see if we can't find something like that Guiding Touch to get us out of the situation. There's another out of the way. Nope, next. Thank you very much. We need to find some more stuff here. I have 2 damage to a unit. None of those are the things that I need, however. Trail of Evidence is something I need, however, actual removal or healing, which we're just not finding. Iterative Improvement is also not it. I can't believe the Sigil of Malice is taking me out. That really sucks, actually. Because there's just, unfortunately, no way for me to ping the LeBlanc down, despite the fact that I do have healing. God damn it. Is there anything? No, I needed that Guiding Touch. I needed the Guiding Touch, and I think I needed 1 less out of the way and needed a Star Shaping instead. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we're just gonna put this... I mean, it doesn't matter. If the problem is if I killed a 7/2 at this point, it also does, like, absolutely nothing. Yep, that's it. That's it. Didn't find the heal. There's 2 Guiding Touch, and between a Draw and a Predict and an Aloof Traveler, still couldn't actually find it. Oh, and the buff would have killed me anyway. The buff would have also killed me, because I wouldn't have been able to find a counter for that. There we go. Almost pulled it out with a Victor, honestly. I think if that HP had been slightly higher, and if one less Omen Hawk had been found on the outset, we might have actually been able to pull this out. but the double Omen Hawk actually was just straight up murder. Actually just straight up murder. Holy shit. GG's though. Good shit. Yeah, my Targon is not lucky. I was actually tempted to bring P&Z Puff Caps instead, but I thought the Targon would have more utility in the long run. So we'll see. Yeah, can need to catch up on the chat here for a little bit. Wait, top lane. Yeah. Dritchy Dragon King, thank you for the request. CSI, thank you for the resub, by the way. Yeah, no, I remember the Pale Cascade in time, but the rest, the rest was just the game happening there. Let's add the GG. There we go. Whoa, good game still, though. Eventually, I'll win a CDS game. I need my opponents to stop bringing fucking meta shit. I want to see a deck that's never been in the meta, but I know I'm never gonna get that. So apparently I just need to draft the fucking goddamn meta, or my victors will go nowhere. Not gonna lie, I'm slightly frustrated, but we'll get there. I'll somehow manage to Ruby Goldberg these into shape. I will manage, okay? I'll find a goddamn way to get this shit to go off. We've had a couple of successes so far. So I think it's just tuning. Definitely learning the hard way that I actually need more healing overall. Healing seems to be a big problem in terms of my survivability. So I think, yeah, the star shaping instead of the out of the ways, which actually there's a change I'm going to make like right the fuck now. We're learning as we go. We need to drop that shit for at least one star shaping. Just for the bigger heal in general. I could drop a Divine Judgment as well and put in another star shaping, which is probably a little more efficient in terms of the deck actually keeping its momentum. So we'll go from there, I think. We'll go from there. The other deck, the Stream Shot, the other Tardog deck that I tried, I think it... oh, I do have Wallop in here. There is a Wallop that I missed. So yeah, we had a chance of top decking a Wallop again. But I think this deck is just unfortunately expensive unless we're going up against control. But I don't actually know how many control matchups I'm going to end up seeing in this series. So this might just be something to dump in general, because I like the deck as a concept, but I don't actually know how much it can do. I mean, I feel like it can do stuff. Swain is just very unfortunate. The flock was unfortunate. But also, to be fair, entirely expected. I'm actually surprised that my Teemo lived as long as it did. But out aggroing with Teemo is always difficult. It is possible. So Teemo is technically a mid-range win, and should be winning if a little before, if not around the same time as Swain, but didn't have that Puffcap engine in exchange for survivability. But I think then it's just too diluted. I think the piles of Targon P&Z and Targon Bandle are a little too distributed, but this is also how I want to play draft, and this is how I feel like draft should feel. So I'm a little conflicted on that one. I don't want to dump this shit for just Caitlyn Teemo, because Caitlyn Teemo is just fucking boring, honestly. Like, Caitlyn Teemo is good as, like, if you want traps to happen. At this point, by the way, I'm just fucking rambling to myself about deck building. Teemo Caitlyn is just fucking boring. Like, everybody has seen Teemo Caitlyn. I could bring Teemo Caitlyn. I was actually looking at Teemo the other day and I completely forgot that he's half Bandle, which is why I was like so dedicated to the Soul Teemo situation. Because I wanted to see if that would work with because Bandle creates cards at a reasonably efficient pace. I don't want to do any pairings that have been done before. That's just so boring. Like, Zoe Victor has definitely been done before. Zoe Victor Vi is a deck that I was looking at deck codes that had previously published before. but I can't do Teemo Caitlyn in a draft setting. That's just it's just what is that for? Who is that for? Absolutely fucking nobody. For me, it is memes or bust. And right now, we're half memeing. We are half memeing some of the time. Oh, I need to clean them up though. I will find the next tier 1 in my memes somewhere. I am going to stop the stream though and then restart so that the delay can catch up. So I will be doing stuff for a minute on my own, and then I'll come back, and then we'll be going into the requests that we received, and also just me continuing to clown around in Diamond. So you'll be seeing the end of this, and then I'll be right back on. I will be munching on my blueberries for a solid minute. So not see you in a second, but like see you in a second.